everyone, it's Bob McCraney with This Month in Realty, and today I'm super happy to have back Jamie Harnish. Jamie, as you know, is with Balliol Real Estate. He serves the Yonge and Eglinton part of Toronto. Jamie, tell us about the market right now.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for having me back. It is very quiet, and quiet because there's nothing on the market, very, very little. So in December, we saw, I would say, relatively strong sale numbers compared to other Decembers. We also saw very little new inventory coming to the market, which again is not uncommon because December is a time where buyers are still somewhat active, but sellers say, okay, I'm waiting until next year. But what we also saw was an exceptionally high number of properties being taken off the market. So suspensions, terminations, those kinds of things. Not the highest we've ever seen, but still a very high number compared to your average December. And what I think it's doing is it's setting us up for very similar market conditions that we saw in early 2017 and early 2021 last year, where basically January through March to April, we saw very, very rapid and very steep price inclines.
Right.
Because buyers are still out there and they're kind of chomping at the bit, and unless the right amount of supply kind of hits the market to kind of satisfy that demand, then you have a much higher number of people on the buy side kind of falling over each other to try and buy the good properties that come out.
Wow. Okay. So we're learning something from history and seeing a pattern here.
Very much.
So if I was a buyer right now and you're looking at these rapid, steep price increases, how would I compete?
Yeah, good question. It's not easy. I think the biggest piece of advice that I can provide is to prepare yourself mentally for not necessarily getting the house that you really love and fall in love with. There's a decent chance that someone else will be able to pay more for it, or you won't be able to get to it in time, or whatever the case is. So try to, whatever you can, in whatever way you can, kind of detach yourself emotionally from the process, and try and stick to a set of criteria that you're looking for, and that you'll be able to find them in kind of multiple properties. And if you lose it on one, another one's going to come along, hopefully within the time frame that works for the buyer. I've got videos on lots of other tips, like from a strategic and kind of technical standpoint, that if anybody wanted to know, they could reach out to me and I could kind of send them a curated list. But having a deposit every time you send an offer, having, if you can, a clean offer, meaning no conditions if possible. And while this is much easier said than done, because I realize that people have jobs and other responsibilities, being very available to go and see properties, during that 2017 and 2021 time, we saw properties selling in 24 to 36 hours. So if you don't see a place the day it comes out or the morning after it comes out, you could be out of the running. Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. Okay, so if I'm a seller right now, how do I take advantage of this?
Yeah, so I think there's a common misconception among sellers that when it's a very frothy market, that properties sell themselves. And don't get me wrong, they do to a degree, but there's always room for more in terms of what could you get. And so if you just kind of like stuck a sign in the lawn on your own, what would you be able to sell it for versus going through that highly professional process?
Right.
So I would say you would still want to try and make your house stand out. So that's maybe doing little fixes and repairs, making sure that you declutter and de-junk and depersonalize. Staging, I think, is still very, very important, because what you can do is you can influence, like you'll almost always, I don't want to speak for every property, but you'll almost always have a lineup of people wanting to buy your place, but how long is that line going to be?
Right.
And you can influence how long that line will be. And the longer the line is, probably the higher likelihood that you'll be able to really maximize on the sale of your property.
Okay. That all makes perfect sense.
Make it look pretty.
Exactly. You can't just like put a sign in the yard. You have to really try, and you have to have a professional there who sold tons of houses before to show you the ropes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of little tricks people are playing right now. And if you don't see a lot of contracts, you don't know their tricks. So Jamie, how would somebody contact you?
Yeah, so whatever platform they're viewing this video on, they're totally fine to either comment or send me a DM. My email address is jharnish@bosleyrealestate.com. My cell phone number is 416-428-8892. Or if you just Google me, Jamie Harnish, Toronto, you'll see my profile come up, my website, kind of my phone number, everything is all there, and I'm pretty easy to find.
Okay. See you next month.
Please.
Okay. Tune in next month to hear more from Jamie and other real estate experts across Canada and the United States. Take care.
Thanks, Bob.